Ciao, sono Koen, and today I'm going to review the entry of Italy at Eurovision 2023, Marco Mengoni with the song Due Vite.
Se questa è l'ultima canzone poi la luna esploderà, sarò lì a dirti che sbagli, ti sbagli e lo sai, qui non arriva la musica e tu non dai.
The winner of Festival di Sanremo is also this year the Italian Eurovision representative. The show took place on the 11th of February, at least that's when the grand final started. It didn't finish until the first few hours of the 12th of February. It was part of the so-called Super Saturday, which is a name in the Euro fandom for the day on which the most Eurovision entries are being picked or released or revealed, which was the 11th of February, because a total of 7 Eurovision songs were picked that day, from Croatia, Estonia, Denmark, Latvia, Romania and Malta, plus Festival di Sanremo. Can you imagine the chaos in the Euro fandom? Marco Mengoni confirmed his participation in the Eurovision Song Contest for Italy later in a press conference. It wasn't really sure whether or not he was going to represent Italy with the song Due Vite, with which he won Festival di Sanremo, or if he was going to pick a totally different song, or if he was maybe going to change up the language of Due Vite and like send in a song called Two Lives, which is the translation of Due Vite. But he later confirmed that Due Vite would be the Italian Eurovision entry this year. He later also released an official Eurovision version of this song. Marco Mengoni has represented Italy before in 2013, when he ended up on the 7th place in the grand final with L'Essenziale. I like Italy's entry this year. I think it's a good song, and I do prefer it over last year's entry. But looking at his two Eurovision entries, L'Essenziale and Due Vite, I do prefer his 2013 entry. I gotta say that I don't really listen to Due Vite that often, but I can see that it's a good song with great lyrics. I feel like the lyrics of Italian songs are always way more deep or meaningful or poetic than lyrics in other languages. Like not just the Italian Eurovision entries, but Italian lyrics in general, which I like. And Marco Mengoni also sings the song beautifully, in my opinion. I also really like the fact that he released an official Eurovision version of his entry, because last year, for example, and in 2020 and in 2019, the Italian representatives did not release a 3-minute version or a Eurovision version of the Eurovision entry, which is sort of a pet peeve for me, because I really want to listen to the version they're performing on the Eurovision stage, you know, or they were going to perform on the Eurovision stage. If you look at 2020, I always like streaming the version that I heard on the Eurovision stage. So that's why I like the fact that Marco Mengoni has released an official Eurovision version. Now let's hope he won't change the song or the staging only and not release it, but I don't think that will happen. I think Italy has once again a good chance of ending up in the top 10 this year. They pretty much always score high. The only times they haven't ended up in the top 10 since their return in 2011 were in 2014 and in 2016. I think Italy will mostly score well with the juries again, like maybe they'll be top 5 in jury votes. I think that's possible, though I don't think the televote will hate this either. Like, I think Italy could also get a top 10 result in televotes, so I think Italy could get a similar result to the result that Marco Mengoni got in 2013, which is like 7th place or something. So to conclude, I like Italy's entry this year. I think it's a good song, like we're used from them in Eurovision. I don't listen to it that often, but I can see that it's a good song with good lyrics that are beautifully sung by Marco, and I think a top 10 result is pretty likely. Like maybe a top 5 result in the jury vote, top 10 result in the televotes, so maybe an overall 7th place in the grand final or something. I think Marco could get a similar result like he got in 2013, which is the 7th place. And that's about all for now. What do you think of Due Vite? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully until next time. Ciao!